previous video, we created a new project just using a Vue CLI. And in this video, we are going to create again a new project, but this time using a GUI tool. It's just a website where you can then create a new project. In order to start that website, you can write Vue UI. And when you hit enter, you will see that this GUI tool or website is being started and it's automatically opened. And as you can see here, it's called a Vue Project Manager. So here I don't have any existing projects, so I will just click here to create a new project. And the new project is going to be created inside this folder. So I will click here to create a new project. And here I have to give the name to the project. So I'll just say new project. I can also select the default package manager. The default one is npm, and I would leave it like that. There is option to overwrite target folder if the target folder already exists. In my case, this folder doesn't exist. And it's automatically pre-selected for you that new Git repository should be initialized here. And you can also specify initial commit message. I will leave it here as blank. Okay, I will click next. Here I can select which preset I want to use in order to create my project. And here I will select the manual one because I want to, select some features to install inside my new project. So I will click manual and click next. And here you can see the list of all features that I can use or install inside my project. So the Babel is automatically pre-selected together as a linter. And I can also select if I want to use TypeScript or not. Here we will leave it blank for now or disabled for now, but we will cover it in some later videos. But I want to definitely use the Vue router and the Vuex, and I also want to have a separate config files for these features. And I will hit next. So here I can also use or check whether I want to use history mode for my router. Okay, I can select this and I can select the linter configuration. I will use this prettier one and lint on save, and I can create project. So this is basically these steps that we just went through are the same steps that we actually went through when we were creating a project using the Vue CLI. So this is just then like a website where you can do the same thing. So when I hit here, create a project, what will happen here, all these steps we can save inside new preset, and then this preset can be saved and we can then use this preset to create all future projects, but I'll continue here without saving. So what's happening right now, the new project is being created. So if you go back here inside the console, you can see that npm is just installing all the dependencies that I selected. So there is process in the background that it's running for us. If I go back to the website, here you will see this loading screen. That means we have to wait until the project is created. And I will just fast forward this because this might take a while. Okay, now the project is created, and this is the dashboard page of our newly created project. Here you can see the project name, it's called new project, and this is then the dashboard. On the left side, you can find the menu where we can then select the plugins, dependencies, configurations, and tasks that are belonging to this project. And I will then just quickly go through all these menus to explain you what you can find there. So this is the dashboard screen. Here you can just find a few tips about your project, but let's go and click plugins. Here you will find all plugins that are being used inside your project. And currently we have CLI service plugin, CLI plugin Babel, and CLI plugin ESLint. We will cover these plugins a bit deeper in the next tutorial. We will go to the dependencies, and here again we have the main dependencies and development dependencies. And again, I will cover all these dependencies in the next tutorial. So I will then just go here to configuration. And here you can make configuration for the Vue CLI, where you can set the public path, the output directory, the runtime compiler, and so on and so on. So there are a lot of configuration you can options that you can configure here, and there is also configuration for the ESLint. And there is nothing more here, so I'll just go quickly to the tasks, which is actually really the most important part of this project dashboard. Here you can also find the tasks that you can execute for your project. And for example, here we have a serve task, a build task, lint task, and inspect task. And when you click on one of these tasks, you can run every task. So here there is a serve task. This task is just compiles and hot reloads our application. So when I hit run task, what will happen here, the task will start and it will build application, and then you will see some really nice statistics about your project. For example, you will see here that the status success, that means your application is up and running. There are no errors or warnings. You will see the asset size, the modules, dependency size, and you can also see some speed statistics. If you are using a 4G, then your application will load in a 2.12 seconds. If you are using dial-up, then a bit more. If you are using a DSL, 11 seconds, and so on and so on. Under, you can see the list of all assets that were created or generated, and you can see here the size of assets. And on the right side, you can also see the dependencies of your project that are being used here. And if you want to open this application, well, you can click Open App. And here you will see just the application. It's the same welcome page that we saw previously when we created a project just using a command line tool. So this is basically it. And for every of these tasks, you can see what's like an analog script command that you can execute inside the console. So if you want to start your application, then you can write exactly this inside your console, and then this task is going to be executed. There is another task that is really important. It's a build task. So once you have finished your application and you want to deploy your application, then you should build your application first. So I can click here in order to build my application, and again, application is here it's building. So this tool is building your application, and at the end you can again see that there are no errors, no warnings, the status is success, and you can see again some chunk sizes or asset sizes. What's also important here is you can see that these dependencies, the list of these libraries here is much smaller than the list of dependencies inside this when you are just running your application for development purposes. That means that there are different dependencies used in production version of your application, and different dependencies are being used when you are developing your application. There is also some nice analyzer here where you can see then the size of some JavaScript files here, and basically it's really nice analyzer where you can see some nice graphical representation of your project size. So basically that's it. As I said, you can use command line tool in order to create a project, or you can use this GUI tool in order to create project. If you are not so comfortable with the command line, then you can start creating a project this way. But I have to tell you that industry standard is most of the time you will use the command line. So you will not see so many companies that are using this kind of GUI tool. And my suggestion is that you get used to the command line, because you are going to use command line in a 90% of time.